Hi, folks, and welcome to the Revered Veterans and Community Show. Today we have a community veteran from the city of Winthrop, our next-door neighbor. Her name is Judie VanKooiman. She is a community veteran, and she also does a TV show out of Winthrop called Life Issues. So, Judie, start off by telling us about. First, let me say welcome to the show.
Thank you, Morris, for having me here. It's a pleasure.
That's my honor. My honor. So, tell us something about the show Life Issues.
It's a resource information show, and I love doing it. I've been doing it for now 3 years, and it's anything to do with life. I went through some bumps in my life, what I call after I lost my husband to cancer almost 7 years ago, and I felt like there wasn't enough resources out there for people, so I started doing some searching, and so I decided to come up with this show. Actually, a friend of mine, and a lot of people know her, Barbara Bishop, was my first producer because she had a lull in her work until the speaker took her away, and now she's working for the Speaker of the House.
Bob DeLeo, right?
Yes, yes.
Hi, Barbara.
She's a wonderful person.
I know. She comes down to, before you continue, I got to tell you about Mrs. Bishop. She comes down to our senior center every time we have something nice for the seniors, and she comes down with Vito, I guess, who's assistant to Bob DeLeo, and they do a wonderful job. And to Bob DeLeo, Vito, and Barbara, thank you. Please.
Right, yeah. She's a busy person, too, besides working for the speaker. But so I just do a half-hour show once a month. My show this month is on AARP. I had the state director, Mike Festa, on as a guest, and a volunteer who for the conferences. And in May is the conference in Boston for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the first week in May. They're doing the AARP conference, national conference. So sounds like they have some wonderful guests coming on that for that conference. And last month's show was on Dawn Orione, home in East Boston. So I have people either coming to me to be on the show, or I go and seek people out.
We had talking about the Dawn Orione home. We were just there for the Valentine party.
Oh, yeah.
And they did a wonderful job. We went up to the 4th floor. They were terrific. And by the way, they had a great disc jockey there. Maybe you've heard of him. He's called Smokey Joe.
Yep, I met him. Yep.
Let me tell you, I've heard a lot of DJs, but I wouldn't give Smokey Joe away for any of them. I mean, he had music that even made my feet move, which is unusual. And not only made my feet move, I think some of the tombstones were moving down at the Woodlawn, too. That's how great he was.
Yeah.
So, Smokey Joe, thank you. Now, Judie, do you want me to call you Miss VanKooiman or Judie?
Judie's fine.
Thank you. Judie, you have something coming up on April the 26th, which is on a Saturday, and it's called Uplift Yourself with Laughter, which is going to be held at the Casa Lucia. Tell us what's all about and how people can help you with that.
Okay. Well, first of all, I started a nonprofit in memory of my husband.
How old was your husband, if I may ask, when he passed away? That's because you had to be awful young.
He was 68 when he passed away. So, yes, very young.
68 is very young.
Yeah. So I decided that I wanted to help others, too. He was very helpful to his customers. He owned a business called Winthrop Appliance Service, but he served Winthrop, Revere, and East Boston.
Maybe a lot of people know him.
Yeah. I still have some of his customers to this day come up to me and say, I miss your husband, my refrigerator broke, or my washer needs to be fixed and stuff. So that makes me feel good that, they still think of him and stuff. So I wanted to start a nonprofit, and it's called Those Who Can for Those in Need. And it's a resource volunteer fair. And the resources that we cover are elderly, losing a loved one, children, low income, and homeless issues. And the volunteer part comes in where a lot of these organizations are looking for volunteers because of budget cuts, etc., or people are looking for volunteer opportunities. So we just started the nonprofit, and so now we're working on a major fundraiser to raise some money, and our goal is to make booklets of these resources and volunteer opportunities for social services like senior centers or shelters, homeless shelters, to give out to their clients. So we decided laughter's the best medicine.
That's
so,
what my doctor says.
Yeah, yeah. So we decided to have a buffet dinner and the comedy show. During dinner, we're going to have a DJ playing music, so it's not boring. And Johnny Peasy, he's from East Boston, but now he lives in Saugus. He plays a lot in Giggles at Prince Pizza, and he's a good friend of mine. So he's getting his guys together, and we're going to have a great comedy show, and we're going to have raffles and 50-50, and it's going to be from 6 o'clock in the evening to 10 o'clock, and the tickets are $40, and it's going to be for a great cause. So if anyone is interested in purchasing tickets or would like more information, they can call me. My number is 617-462-5719, and my email is jkvank100@comcast.net.
Thank you. Excellent, excellent. You do a lot of other things besides, but before we get to this, if you wish to talk about it, you may, and if you don't, you don't have to. Because sometimes it's hard for me to talk about my son because I lost my son. You also lost someone very close to you beside your husband. And would you like to mention him?
Sure, because actually today would have been his 49th birthday.
Right.
It's my, what I still call my baby brother, because he was the youngest of the whole family. And he passed away from cancer, pancreatic cancer, in a year ago, July. So it's been almost a year and a half now that he passed away.
We had a gentleman by the name of Anthony, may he rest in peace, at the senior center. And he was very jovial. And one day he said to me, I don't feel good or something. And I said, go see a doctor. So he went to see a doctor, and they found out he had pancreatic cancer. And within 3 months from the time he went into the hospital, approximately within 3 months, he passed away. So that is a vicious killer. And lung cancer is the #1 killer, by the way. So for those people that smoke out there, now I'm not pushing cigarettes, believe you me, folks. If you're smoking out there, all you're doing is shortening your life. Because I go to the hospital, I see the lungs that they take out for people who passed away. Some of them are as black as chalk. And some of them, it depends how many years you've been smoking. But if you stop, sometimes it could take a reversal. And for every cigarette or cigar or pipe you put in your mouth, you're losing 7 seconds of your life. And that's what my doctor told me. So smoking is a killer with lung cancer. You also do a lot of volunteer work.
Yes.
And I'm going to start it, and you can elaborate on it.
Okay.
How do you like that word? I'm learning big words there. First of all, your volunteer groups consist of Treasure for Neighbor to Neighbor. Please.
Winthrop just started a organization called From Neighbor to Neighbor, and we help families in Winthrop that have had an unfortunate disaster happen to them, like a fire or something like on that nature. So we just started that. We've had some fundraisers for certain families, but we're looking to be able to build the organization up and be able to help families.
Let me ask you on this, Judy, if I may. Do you work together with the Red Cross on this too, on people?
That's a resource that we,
Or you use them?
Well, we not necessarily. They are usually right on site as soon as a disaster, like a gas explosion.
Oh, you don't even have to call them?
I think the fire department takes care of that.
Oh.
But this is kind of like after, when they're trying to figure out what they're going to be doing and where they're going and stuff. We kind of help them a little bit.
So in other words, you get clothing for them, bedding if they need all that?
Some resources and stuff.
Right,
yes.
and if people want to donate all that stuff to you, give them that number.
Yeah. If they want more information, I can get them in touch with other people to help. My number again is 617-462-5719.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
That's #1. My God, we're going to be here all night with this. You also do another organization here called Chair of the Deacons at my church.
Yep. I go to church in Nahant. I love Nahant. It reminds me of Winthrop. It's nice and small and quaint. And I am the chair of the deacons, and we help serve at church on Sundays and do other things for, like we assist at weddings and funerals, and we just do a lot of nice things for the church.
I have to say this, Judy. The Immaculate Conception Church right here in our city of Revere, they started a program a little while back, and every Sunday they have breakfasts for the people that can't afford or can't afford it, and they donate the breakfasts if they want to. Does churches down in your area or in the hand do the same thing?
I don't believe so. No. But
Well, Immaculate Conception, thank you.
yes.
You also do, this is very good, Community Against Substance Abuse. That includes drugs, I believe?
Yes. It's
Expand
called.
on that.
We call it CASA, and like you said, it's Community Against Substance Abuse, and we help with people that give them resources or assistance that people that are going through drug or alcohol abuse, and our families that need some assistance and stuff, because unfortunately the kids are getting younger and younger, and
Right.
and stuff. So
Question for you. As you know, marijuana has been legalized in the Commonwealth. I'm not going to speak whether I'm for it or against it, but let me just say I'm not for it, okay? For two reasons, and one of the reasons is it could bring in, well, I don't want to use the word crime, but it could bring in drug abusers into the city, or have kids abuse it. How does the people in Winthrop feel about that? I mean, they're going to be able to come to Revere and buy the drugs legally.
I know I don't know a lot of people that are opposed or for it, but we're too small of a town, I think.
The reason I'm opposed to it is because I remember when I was a little young man that people were walking off buildings because of marijuana and other kinds of drugs on there, so I just didn't care for it. This I would be interested because I belong to the Council of Elder Affairs, but Winthrop has a Council on Aging board. I belong to the Elder Affairs Council with the senior citizen. Tell us about the Winthrop Council, what they do, because we might learn something too.
I am on the board, the Council on Aging at the Robert A. DeLeo Winthrop Senior Center, and we do things for the senior center, different events, and just.
What age is a senior in Winthrop, if I may consider to be?
60.
60, okay, same in Revere.
Yeah.
And do you have vans that pick them up like we do?
Yep, we have a van on the
Do
Monday.
you have an extra van? We could use one.
Really? No, we only have the one, and it's we have it out on the road on Monday through Thursday, and we take people either food shopping or medical appointments. Medical appointments always come first. They're a priority and stuff. So it's very handy for our seniors.
It is for us too, and we have an excellent driver. We had two excellent drivers. Gabe is on vacation right now, and Jimmy is doing the driving, so they do a wonderful job. Okay, you are the producer and host of the cable show Life Issues.
Right.
And how long have you been doing that?
It was 3 years ago in December.
3 years?
And actually my for my December show, my guest was the Suffolk County Sheriff.
Steve
Tompkins, yep.
Yep, so, I had him on this show too.
Yep, and
I had a tussle with him, and he put handcuffs on me.
Oh no!
Just to show me what they were like. Okay. You're also a member of the Winthrop Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
And a volunteer in many events. Let us know about that. Mamma mia, you got a lot of stuff going here.
I volunteer a lot of groups that they have. We have old-fashioned family day at the beach in July. We have, what are some of the other things? Of course, my mind goes blank as soon as I try to remember all the.
Who's the senior here? You or I?
It's a long day. We have welcome wagon bags that we put together, so I help with that. We have the tree lighting the day after Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yep. So
we do two in Revere.
Yeah, I help with that. So
good. Let me get that off here.
Check.
I may need another pen by the time we're all finished here, Judy. You also, Mama. Also volunteer at My Brother's Table in Lynn. I never heard of that organization.
It's a soup kitchen, basically.
For homeless?
And low-income people, yep. And they're open 365 days a year, it's Sunday through Saturday. Monday through Friday, they serve lunch and dinner. On Saturday and Sundays, they just serve a dinner in the middle of the afternoon and stuff. And they're always looking for volunteers, always. So if anyone would like to volunteer, I'm sure you won't be turned away, or you'll be helped.
And anybody wants to volunteer, they can call you at that number. Tell them to them again.
617-462-5719.
Right.
But
so anybody who wants to will call you at 617-462-5719.
And if they'd like to volunteer at My Brother's Table, I can get them the number to contact the person there.
Very good, Judy. Excellent. I've had a lot of people on it, but I've never had a resume like this, which is terrific, by the way. Also, a member of the Forum on Tolerance at North Shore Community College.
We do different forums twice a year. We are planning one in April for to go green, because it's Earth Day, I believe, in April. And so we're doing that. In the fall, we'll be doing one on homelessness. And so we kind of, plan depending on.
I would like, on the community college. You'll also do something on member of North Shore Voices to End Homelessness. You mean they sing?
No. We speak out and to help people, because this is a problem that isn't going away anytime soon, unfortunately.
No, it's getting worse, by the way. I can see it in Revere, and I see it in Boston.
Yeah. We're trying to help people, but it's a lack of money. People say, oh, the economy's getting better and everything, but it hasn't gotten better for everybody.
It's only gotten better for those that work.
Right.
And only those.
And homeless can happen to anybody. It happened to me when I lost my husband, because I lost the
Right, I remember you had to sell your house.
Yeah.
And then the people that bought it let you stay there to pay the rent, and then you couldn't even afford that.
No, because I didn't have an income, because prior to losing my husband, I had lost my full-time job of 18 years in Boston, so I didn't really have much income coming in when I lost my husband.
So how did you get the help after you got evicted?
Well, I ended up in a shelter in Lynn and for 9 months, and then had to go through some processes, and I finally got my own apartment. So,
by the way, you have a terrific Veterans Affairs in Winthrop, and I have to mention, I think there's a lady we had on the show. Her name is Roseanne.
Rose. She's actually on my board for my nonprofit. She's an awesome, awesome person.
Well, let me tell you, she is a terrific woman. She was on the show. She spoke of what she does for veterans, and she hasn't been there that long when she came on here.
Right.
But she does an excellent job. We also have I like to call her the commissioner, because Director of Veteran Service. We had a gentleman from Boston. His name is Francisco Urena. He's called the Commissioner of Veteran Affairs. We have a commissioner in the city of Revere. His name is Nick Boer, and he's got a lovely secretary down at Teresa. And let me tell you what they did for the veterans. They found out some of the veterans and their spouses were having a tough time, like you say, because of the economy. They've got a food bank going. I don't know if they have that in Winthrop. It's where people can pick up food of veterans or spouses of veterans or widows of veterans can pick up food. Did they have that where you come from too in Winthrop?
We have a food pantry, and I think can help anybody that.
That's terrific.
Oh,
so people may not know about that in Winthrop, but they know that too. So if you want to know about it, can I give them the number this time?
Sure.
Have them call 617-462-5719, and they'll help you, or any help you can get. There's also another organization here. I hope I don't miss any. President of Those Who Can for Those in Need.
That's the nonprofit that I just started in memory of my husband.
Right.
Yeah, so we help people find resources or volunteer opportunities.
Right. I saw something on TV, and I usually get a lot of good information from TV. Excuse me. We had a lady out here before I go there. Her name is Eileen Murillo, for the woman. She worked as a nurse at Walter Reed Hospital. They have an arm now that they're working on. It's an artificial hand. But they're talking about connecting the nerves of your regular arm to the artificial arm. So when you do something like this, you'll be feeling what you're doing, which is something to look forward in the future. And all these come because of the veterans, by the way. All these new inventions that people have, the artificial legs, the artificial arms, they have a word for that. What do they call them? What they
Processes?
prosthesis?
Yep.
Yep, they had the prosthesis. All these come from the veterans' hospitals because they do that for the veterans first, and then they give it out to the rest of the community. So it's very good that they do that. I'd like to get back to you, Jody. You talked about your husband, you talked about your brother, all these organizations here, but you never talked about yourself. So tell us a little about your childhood, where you went to school, where you grew up, and everything like that. No, we'd love to hear. People love to hear that. I would.
Okay. I was born and raised in Oregon.
What part of Oregon?
I was born in Salem. My family, because I'm the oldest of, we had 4 children in our family. We moved to Albany, and just when I became, started grade school, we moved to Corvallis.
Which is located where?
It's in the valley. It's between Salem and Eugene.
Oh, in Oregon.
Uh-huh. And freshman year in high school, we moved to Montana.
You know, you're hopping around.
That's for sure. My parents bought a fast food franchise in Montana, and so they opened up that, and then the economy at that time was really, really bad, so I moved to this wonderful state to become a live-in nanny. My girlfriend says, "You love kids so much, why don't you move back east?" And so I started off as a nanny, and then, as I always tell people, my husband got me out of the business, and I found a full-time job at the law firm and stuff. So that's kind of how I got to here.
See, we say go west, young man, go west, but you came east.
Yeah.
Which is good.
I like it. I like it. There's more to do. Oh, Morris, I wanted to ask you, where did you get this wonderful centerpiece at?
You won't believe it if I told you, but I have to.
Okay.
I asked a woman, I needed a prop, and there's a woman at the senior center. Her name is Alice Griffin. And she came over and she says, "I'll make you a prop." And I said, "I want to, with an American, I'll make it for you." I says, "How much you want?" Nothing. She donates her time, and she makes all kinds of dolls. By the way, not only this, any doll you want, she will make it for you. She does it at the senior center.
Nice.
She's a lovely lady. I like to say to Alice Griffin, thank you. And by the way, if anybody would like to see a doll or make one or any kind, call the senior center, 781-286-8156, and speak to Mrs. Griffin. And let me tell you, she makes the most beautiful little dolls you can think of. You couldn't even buy them in the store. I went around to stores looking for this. Nowhere. But Alice, thank you. Thank you. So now I want to get back to you. What are your future plans in all these that you would like to see some of these organizations do?
Well, I think I will always be a homeless advocate because of the seriousness of that topic until until there's until it stops. The last Thursday of this month, there is a legislative action day at the State House on the Mass Coalition for the Homeless will be holding, so we can learn about that. We have some other homeless educational forum and a legislative breakfast happening in March and April on the North Shore, and people always consider the North Shore like, Saugus and Peabody up there, but the North Shore starts in Winthrop. So anything Winthrop and above, this organization is for. So, but they can get more information too and stuff. So, I think I will always volunteer. I love volunteer. And I always try to, tell people,
That's why That's why we added that word on the bottom, community, because you are a community veteran or a veteran of the community. And when I look down and read these, and I'm going to reiterate these because I've never had a resume like this, and I've been doing this show for over a year. I mean to say treasurer for neighbor to neighbor, chair of the deacons of my church, community against substance abuse, Winthrop Council on Aging Board, producer and host show of Life Issues, member of the Winthrop Chamber, volunteer at my brother's table in Lynn, members of the Forum on Tolerance at North Shore Community College, members of North Shore Voices Stand Homelessness, president of Those Who Can't for Those in Need. Fantastic. So, we got about 2.5 minutes. Take 2 minutes and wrap it up. Whatever you like to say, whatever you wish to say.
Thank you, Morris. The fundraiser that we are planning for the end of April is going to be a wonderful event. I can't wait. Like I said, laughter's the best medicine, and it's going to be open to anybody. Tickets are $40, and it's going to be here in Revere at Casa Lucia, and we're going to have a DJ playing while people eat their wonderful buffet dinner, and we're going to have raffles and 50-50, and of course the comedians that will be playing. Johnny Peasy, he's fairly popular, so if people go to Giggles or any of the other comedy places, they'll hear him. And then he's got some other guys, I believe 2 or 3 other comedians that are going to be performing.
And that'll be on April 26th on a Saturday night?
Yes.
At the Casa Lucia.
From 6 to 10 p.m.
Okay, Judy, I want to thank you for coming
you.
on the show. I really mean that. I had a wonderful time. God bless you, Judy. You do an excellent job.
Thank you,
I
Morris.
volunteer, but nothing compared to what you do. So I want to thank you for coming on the show. May God bless the people of Revere and the people of Winthrop.
Thank you.
And our great city of Revere, and especially our troops, and most of all, our great country, the United States of America.
Of course.
And Judie VanKooiman, did I get that right?
Yes.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.